Next question, and this one is the controversial one, I think. Matthew Reeves, Ric Flair has said in a shoot interview, on at least two occasions, that Blackjack Mulligan quit WCW his last time he was there booking. Flair claimed Mulligan quit because when he gave the booking lineup, there was one match where it was Lex Luger versus Dirty Dutch Mantell. Flair says Luger went over to Mulligan and said in third person, as you alluded to before, why would a Lex Luger wrestle a Dutch Mantell? Does Dutch have any thoughts or knowledge about this event ever happening? Also, according to Flair, Mulligan quit because he was about to whip Luger's ass, but instead just quit because he didn't need the job with all the headaches. So, partly did Mulligan quit over you and Lex Luger, or Lex Luger?
Oh, he probably didn't quit over me. He probably quit because he's tired of the bullshit. Probably one of the things he was tired of, and I have said this before, Lex Luger always talked about himself in third person. Always. What would Lex Luger be doing wrestling a Dirty Dutch Mantell? Well, hell, I don't know. I guess if a booker sat down and wrote the names down, I guess. I don't know. But see, what Luger didn't know, because he was too green and he was so caught up in his own publicity, I could have made him look like $1 million. And, sometimes, say it's like a giant, fantastic football team goes up against a scrappy other team, and they don't blow them out 40 to nothing. All of a sudden, this other team now is making it a game. That's what Luger didn't understand. Luger was all about Luger. He didn't give a shit about his opponent unless his opponent made him do it. But that sounds just like Lex. What would he said, what would Lex Luger be doing wrestling a Dutch Mantell? Which if I'd have heard it then, it'd have made me hot. And I may have went up and said, what's the deal, man? You think you shouldn't be in the, no. And I know what he would have said. He'd have backed and stuttered and stammered. He said, no, just the way they've used me here and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm way up here with Flair and, and you hadn't reached that level yet. And I said, I understand that. But what you said was actually disrespectful. You should have come up to me unless I could have made you look like $1 million. But no, since you want to be a goddamn asshole and you want to be a dickhead, and I'm glad I didn't wrestle him. I do remember one night when I was with Bobby Jaggers, we were in, I think, Fayetteville, North Carolina, I think. And I remember that building because it was an odd shaped building on the inside. It had a lot of windows around the top. Actually, it was a pretty building on the inside. And it was Tully Blanchard and Lex Luger going to wrestle me and Bobby Jaggers. And Lex says, man, I can't have a match with them. But what are we going to do? And I remember Tully says, you stupid bastard, just stay out of the ring and I'll do the whole match. Because Tully's worked with us before. He knew how to work with somebody who knew how to work. See, Lex was trying to work with people that could work, but he couldn't, if that makes sense. So we went in there and we got the heat. And Lex come in one time. The deal is we let Tully look good at the start of the match. Then we got some heat on him and kind of beat him up a little bit. And he tagged Luger and we went home. People never knew the difference. But the sad part about that is Lex Luger never knew the difference. So, and that's the kind of crap you run into in the wrestling business. Guys who get to believing their own publicity. Now, a lot of guys have got the shit beat out of them because of that very same attitude. Because Luger wasn't known to be, a brawler. I don't think he was ever known to even have any guts, to tell you the truth, any nerve. Because I remember the time that Bruiser Brody had him in the cage, and Brody got tired of damn selling for him. He just wouldn't sell nothing and just started beating him up. Luger climbed over the ring and out and left. And there's a tape of that somewhere. He actually went to the referee and said, what's going on? Referee said, hell, I don't know. You tell me.
You know who the referee was? It was Fonzie, Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, I knew it was somebody that I knew. I didn't know who it was, but crazy.
on the other channel, WSI, Bill Alfonso tells me the entire story about that as well. So,
what was his story?
Great question. That was about a year ago. I can't remember.
He was in the cage, and I don't think Brody liked Luger at all, because I can see him not liking him, because Brody come up old school. He had to literally go out there and work his way up. Then he went to Japan, and how he got over in Japan wasn't not his great working ability. He just beat guys up. And that's the same way Abdullah did it. He just beat guys up. Stan Hansen, he beat guys up. That's all they did. So when they got to Taruta or Baba, now you got these big monsters taking on our big favorite, Giant Baba, and it made a big house. Because Giant Baba, if you ever saw him work, he looks horrible, but the people believed in him. And that's all it takes. But so what did Bill say? What started it, or he just started out of the blue?
I don't know if there's some sort of miscommunication in the back. Bill painted it, I think, a bit more innocently than Bruiser really hated Lex. I think originally Bruiser just wasn't going to sell anything for Lex at first. Lex didn't understand this, turn around to Bill and say, "What should I do?" And Fonzie just goes, "I don't know." So Lex just hightails and just goes. But I'll have to send you the link, or I'll tell you next time. I'll watch the video and see what Bill says.
I love that. I love the part he says, "What should I do?" And Fonzie going, "I don't know. Do what you want to do. Don't get me in it."